gentlemen, welcome to the 2021 Career Panel on Business and Corporate Aviation. I'm excited to have three panelists here that can answer some questions about what it's like to be in business aviation. First off, I'd like to show you some handouts that we have listed up on, that's uploaded in the documents that you can see for this panel. And I wanted to, here are our panel of speakers today. You have me, Ava Shubat, Anna, aircraft maintenance technician, Amanda, she's a lead IS-BAO auditor and a certified aviation manager, as well as a international captain flying Gulfstreams, and Roxy Mihai, she's a corporate flight attendant and the vice president of Women in Corporate Aviation. You can see their bios on the handout. And we wanted to just let you know a business aviation fact, and that's in the handout as well. And today we're going to cover what business aviation is. We're going to introduce the panelists, and in their words, they're going to answer quite a few questions here, more than what we have here listed. In the handout, there's some business aviation by the numbers and some benefits of what business aviation does. If you'd like to download that after this session, you can do that. Okay, ladies, why don't we go across? Roxy, you can start and just briefly introduce yourself to the audience.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rucsandra Mihai, and I wish you a very warm hello from Bucharest, Romania. I'm a former flight attendant, both commercial and private. Right now, I'm a vice president of Women in Corporate Aviation, and I'm a business aviation trainer and a recruiter in Bucharest, Romania. I have 30 years experience in aviation. I flew over 20,000 hours in the air. I have more than 20,000 hours in the air, and I am passionate about aviation. Last year, I had the honor to be selected, to be elected vice president to Women in Corporate Aviation, and I'm very happy to be part of this amazing community, and very happy to be here with you today. Thank you.
Anna?
Hi, my name is Anna Chadwick. I currently work as an aircraft maintenance technician for Club Jet in Eden Prairie, Minnesota. I have over 14 years of experience in aviation maintenance. Business aviation, I have experience on the G650 production line at Gulfstream. I also was an aircraft technician and flight technician for American Family Insurance on a G450. And most recently, I was a G280 crew chief and aircraft maintenance technician for 3M company. I hold a master's degree in aviation maintenance from Embry-Riddle, and I also have 2 master tech flight certificates or certificates from flight safety, one on the G450 and one on the 280.
Thank you, Anna. Amanda?
Hi, my name is Amanda Ferraro. I'm the CEO of Aviation Safety Solutions. My business offers aviation safety auditing that's in conformance with Safety Management System and the new FAA Part 5 rule that's coming out. We offer a wide variety of consulting, auditing services to our industry. My prior background is I'm a Gulfstream G550, G450 captain, and I worked for American Family Insurance with Anna, and also prior to that, John Deere Global Aviation Services. I was with them for 6.5 years, flying all over the world.
Thank you, ladies, and we'll start with our questions. First question is why is a business aviation career viable to you? And anyone can start. Just unmute your mic.
I think corporate aviation is a viable career ranging from maintenance to pilots or flight attendants. But behind all these amazing jobs, you can find also jobs in IT, sales, marketing, very useful because They're not only the pilots and the flight attendants that work in business aviation. In fact, there are a lot of people working behind the scenes and doing the hard work, if I can say so. And the young generation probably they would like to have a career in business aviation because it's a very luxurious environment. It's different. It's a very good quality of life, benefits of these jobs. But and they have chances today, I think, to choose a career in business aviation because they can have mentors helping them to achieve these dreams. They can apply for scholarships. We have a lot of organization like WAI, like WCA. We offer scholarships, useful scholarship for them to fulfill their dreams. So I think it's private aviation now. It's in a boom, if I can say so. Even if commercial aviation is not quite well, it's a little bit shady these days. But private aviation, I can say that it's in a boom these days. So why not business aviation?
Thank you. Anybody else?
There is no doubt that business and corporate aviation provide for a level of stability that the airlines cannot. And right now is the perfect example of when business aviation is absolutely thriving in the middle of COVID. There's so many of my friends that I went to college with back quite a few years ago now, but they went to the airlines and they are not flying right now. But those individuals that decided to stay in business aviation and make this their long-term career, they are doing well. They are flying. They're still employed. They're not having to worry about being laid off or having to take unemployment. There's no doubt that as an airline pilot or in the airlines, no matter if you're a pilot, mechanic, flight attendant, within that career span, if you decide to go down that career path, you need to plan for maybe 3 layoffs in your career. Since I've come into aviation in the last 20 years, we've had 3 rounds between 9/11 to the 2008 financial downturn to today with COVID, where all of my friends that went to the airlines pretty much stopped flying during that time, and they're all they don't have any paychecks coming in. So you have to really plan for that if you decide to go that route, because when the markets and when our financials are doing great and our country is doing great, the airlines do benefit from that. But the minute that falls off, you need to start worrying, are you high enough on the seniority list? Are you going to get laid off this time? Where's your next paycheck going to come from? And in business and corporate aviation, we have learned to grow skills and mentor a lot of the individuals that come into this industry. And so I'm a perfect example or product of that. I actually, by trade, am a pilot. However, I have grown my skill set into a very niche market, which is safety management systems, doing auditing and consulting for business aircraft Fortune companies, Part 135 operators. And so even though I haven't flown in the last year, I'm still thriving as a safety professional in our industry, even though I'm not actually flying in current at this time. So that's one good reason why business aviation is. I could go on for hours, Ava, about that. Not to actually, before Anna speaks, not to mention all the cool, amazing places I've been in this world and that somebody else has paid for. In fact, Anna and I can reminisce about a time that her and I and another female captain flew ourselves down to St. Thomas for about a week and sat on the beach together. And, wasn't because, it was because they were on business. And I can tell you I've been all over the world and love the ability to travel. We get to stay at some of these places for way longer than the airlines do. They only get to stay a night or two. I've been to places for 2 weeks, Hawaii, Australia, over to Europe. And I love this career. I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world.
Thank you, Amanda. Anna?
I believe business aviation is a viable career because it is global. Actually, I just finished writing my master's paper, and part of that, I read an article for it that said business aviation provides over 5 million jobs worldwide. And that is truly amazing. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. And it does have that capability, like Amanda reiterated, to adapt and overcome to the circumstances. So that's why I believe aviation, business aviation and corporate aviation is a viable career.
Thank you, Anna. Okay, the next question is what path led you to a business aviation career? Who would like to start?
May I?
Yes.
I have a background of commercial aviation, and I had the privilege to fly with all the presidents of Romania since 1992. And I realized flying with them that treating VIP guests is totally different than being a commercial flight attendant. So I choose to use my knowledge and my expertise, and I decided to fly corporate. For a while, I flew in Africa for the President Kagame on his first mandate, because he's already having 20 years since he's president in Rwanda. And I decided then to become an instructor, and a flight instructor, and an auditor, and then a trainer. In 2007, I started training the others, and I really loved that, because I put all my passion for aviation into this, and help the young generation to fulfill their dreams, to get their wings, in fact, because flying is something very excited for everyone, and working in business aviation is very rewarding, and it has an excitement of itself. You can be recognized for your own performance. If you work in business aviation, you can build relationships, and there are opportunities all over, and you can leave the aviation and start another business. I am the perfect example. I stopped flying, and I become a founder of a business aviation agency in Romania. And now I'm the manager and business aviation trainer as well. So I have a lot of people around me that they use this career till a moment when they decide to do something else, to do something different with their skills and their expertise, because we gain a lot of expertise flying. And we have a lot of skills, we can do anything. And I think this is the main important thing about flying, in my opinion, at least. So this was my career path. Thank you.
Thank you. Would like to go next?
So I got into corporate aviation. I had a mentor that was my neighbor, and he was a Northwest Airlines captain for 30 years and started having me fly with him when I was 12 years old. I was very fortunate for his mentorship and the things and the skills that he helped me along with when I was younger. After college, I went to Minnesota. Well, I went to Minnesota State University, Mankato, for a 4-year degree in aviation, and then was picked up at Atlantic Coast Airlines at the time out in Washington, D.C. I did an internship there, and they shut their operations down, is what happened when I was on my internship. And so I ended up coming home and going down back to my local airport where I learned to fly, and went to the local flight training charter group and was brought on as a flight instructor. So I started flight instructing, and then I became a charter pilot with enough time. And then I was asked to join Cessna Aircraft Company as a delivery instructor pilot. And from there, I was asked to join John Deere Global Aviation Services. And then I moved to American Family Insurance. And so, and from American Family, I went to FedEx Mainline for just a little bit of time. And then when I realized that, I realized I was absolutely crazy to be flying boxes around in the middle of the night in the cold winter months and not being able to see my children. And things were a little smelly and stinky and kind of manly, to be frank with you. So just not my style. And I had the opportunity to come back into business aviation and never looked back. So it's been incredible.
I got my start in business aviation. My very first job out of A&P school was with Elliott Aviation down in Moline, Illinois, as an aircraft mechanic. We worked on business jets. From there, I worked for Elliott at Flying Cloud in Eden Prairie. And then after a few years, I finally was able to get in with Gulfstream on their G650 production line in Savannah, Georgia. And while I was working there and moving my way up the ladder, I got a phone call from Miss Amanda one day asking if I would like to or have ever considered being a flight technician or would consider being a flight technician. And she made me come up for an interview and I gladly accepted the job and learned a lot, learned the flight attendant side, just continued to grow in the maintenance side of business aviation. And from there, I was able to get a job with what's considered one of the cream of the crop of business aviation corporate maintenance departments. And that is with 3M out of Minneapolis or out of St. Paul. And that's from there. Unfortunately, COVID hit and things happen, and departments decide to get rid of a couple aircraft for the time being, and that results in the loss of a few people. And so I went where the business is currently, and that's over to Club Jet, which is a charter company. So still involved in business aviation and hopefully forever will be.
I think Anna is a perfect example of what happens in business aviation when we have a downturn versus what happens in the airlines when we have a downturn. When we have a downturn in the airlines, you literally are without a job because your only skill set is to fly an airline, period. You do not grow outside of that option. That's what you do. You do it for 30 years. You fly 8 hours a day. When you fly, you fly. And when you're home, you're home. And there are some advantages, right? There's a set schedule and things like that. And we'll get into that later. But Anna was able to take her skill set. And even though she was laid off during this time, she was really able to take advantage of that and literally just jump ship right from the company that she got laid off from into another role. And so there's a huge advantage to having additional skills outside of your current role or what you're focusing on when you come into business aviation.
Thank you. Well, I'm going to jump ahead just one question because I think this one's a really important one. I want to make sure that we cover it because it's typically asked by a lot of people in the audience, and that is, what advice would you give on accomplishing work-life balance? I think that that's always a very high topic, and I want to make sure that we hit that one. So whoever would like to start first.
I can easily say, do what you love and love what you do. Simple as that. And Adam Grant says that the mark of a lifelong learner is recognizing that you can learn something from everyone. And the knowledge is the best thought from experts. So wisdom can come from everywhere. So in my opinion, this is the most important thing. So if you do what you love, it's very easy and you work with pleasure. So this is my motto: do what you love and love what you do. So.
Thank you, Roxy.
You're welcome.
I will go next. So I've had a lot of people ask me, how do you do what you do? And I will tell you confidently, I do not do it alone. And I think when I was younger, contemplating going into aviation, period, whether it be an airline pilot, whether it be in the airlines as a mechanic or a flight attendant or any one of those roles, or in business aviation, that you will, if kind of like what Roxy said, if you have a passion for something, you will make it work. And over the last 20 years in this career, I've learned to make that work. And so, and my children have grown up to know that mommy is on a trip and she comes home, but they get the luxuries of me being in aviation, which is a good salary. It's got great benefits. There's a lot of really great perks, like Anna and I going down to St. Thomas to go hang out on the beach together while we actually sit and study. I can't remember if it was your bachelor's at that time, Anna. I think it was, wasn't it? You were working on your bachelor degree. Here you are with your master's already. It's amazing. But I would tell you that with children, it's a wonderful thing to go into this career with so many different options and so much different skill sets that are needed. And to be able to balance that with having a very successful career and having a family. When my kids get, when I'm home and my kids get done with school at 3 o'clock, I try to shut that off, right? As much as I can. And I just try to be mom and I try to just be a wife. And we have horses and we go out and we go riding and we spend that special time together. Just like last night, even though it's freezing cold up here in Wisconsin, my daughter and I were out in the barn, just hanging out, having special mom time, together. So, finding that time. But I think even if you look outside of aviation and you look at the 9 to 5 mom that works, there's no doubt that 9 to 5 mom probably doesn't spend as much quality time with their children as some of us that get to be in aviation, because we get to have all those free days off at school and we get to have weekends off, and we do get to have extra advantages to be home all day long when everybody else is out working. So going to the grocery store and getting our shopping done when we don't have to worry about doing all that on a weekend and cramming all that in. I can do that while my children are at school. And then when they come home, it's mom quality time. So I actually love this work-life balance. I'm not a 9 to 5 person. I love the dynamics of doing one different thing today and one different thing tomorrow. But if you like to sit in a cubicle from 9 to 5 and stare at the same thing for 8 hours a day with looking at the same stuff, business aviation probably won't be for you. But if you love to travel and have lots of activity and be active and participate with a super engaged, awesome team, this is where it's at. So,
Thank you.
So I had to think on this question a little bit because up until last year, I was pretty much married to business aviation maintenance and my job. I spent more time, I had more time at work than I did really out having a life. So, but what I came up with was that, so, after moving to 3M, I was on a rotating schedule. So I worked nights, earlies, weekends, and days, and each one for a week. And then the rotation would start back over again. And I got married to my husband, and we had a baby who's now 1. And what I learned from that is that, it is okay to say no sometimes. It's okay to know your limits and to, be able to say no to overtime or, picking up some extra shifts or, whatever it may be. It's great that you can do it when you can, but if it means, spending a birthday with your husband or your daughter, then, it's okay to say no.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's see here. The industry, we've already kind of touched on this a little bit. The industry, in addition to the rest of the world, has faced uncertainty in the past year. What advice would you give to someone just entering the workforce?
At first glance, it is impossible to plan a future in these uncertain times, but unexpected opportunities are just around the corner, in my opinion. So I advise them to keep their eyes open, to use their skills and their expertise wisely, to choose any kind of jobs, even if it's not quite the one that they want, like a commercial flight attendant or a private flight attendant or a pilot, but to use their skills in order to do something that they like, till they will fulfill their dream. But don't lose hope. This is my advice, and the things I think will get better soon, or sooner or later. Even now, aviation is a little bit shady.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, ladies, this is what I call seize the moment. And what I mean by that is right now is the absolute perfect time for anybody that has got their eyes on aviation to start building that skill set, going through training, trying to pick up a job. So for instance, I have a niece that came to me and wanted to know about being a flight attendant. And I was like, yeah, so you could go work in childcare. You could go work at a bar. You could go work at, a restaurant, which is serving skills and helping the general public and helping to learn with children. Or you could go to a nursing home and pick up some skills about how to help the elderly. You could become a medic. There are so many things that you can be doing to grow the skill set that is going to set you apart for when our industry completely ramps up. You are looking to set yourself apart than your peers. You are looking to build those skills. And I wouldn't want to be doing that when all of a sudden everything opens wide open and you have all these options out there. You want those skills already set and you want to have already done that. So my advice is to take the moment, go after what you want. Any training that you do is not without loss. Any education that you're going to get beyond where you are is not without loss. It will always follow you. Nobody can ever take it away from you. And so if I was in your position and I'm looking at aviation as my go-to, you need to find those skills, figure out what else outside of being a pilot would a department look at. They look at organization. Can you do a PowerPoint presentation? Do you have computer skills? Do you know Microsoft Excel really well? Mm-hmm. Do you have organizational skills? Can you build a website? Are you able to be maybe an aircraft medic or a medic, like an EMT? Do you have like some type of first aid background? All those things are looked at and they're weighted against your peers when you go into an interview. You don't want to just be a pilot in a cockpit. Mm-hmm. You don't want to just be a flight instructor. You don't want to be just an aircraft mechanic, because everybody's an aircraft mechanic. Everybody's a pilot. Everybody's a flight instructor. Everybody's got their commercial certificate. Everybody's at the same spot at the same moment when they get ready to make that application. But what other things have you done? What type of volunteering have you done? What kind of person are you? Are you that well-rounded person that most companies are looking for? Are you personable? One of the things that I'll tell you is networking is one of the most key things that you can be doing in this career. Usually you land a job because you know somebody, you've made a connection, you've gone out to the airport, maybe you've made a phone call and asked your local flight department to, it would be hard to go out to lunch nowadays, but before COVID, we would, have individuals try to go out to lunch with some of the pilots or director of aviation, but networking is absolutely where it's at in this career for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you, Amanda.
Can I mention something else? I think the key to success is keep educating yourself, because knowledge is power, and use this knowledge wisely. And if you fail, in my opinion, to fail means future attempt in learning. So invest in yourself, invest in professional trainings, invest in attending to conferences, to workshops, and find everywhere a solution in everything you touch, because somewhere, somehow, there is somebody who can help you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna tag off of Amanda. So my advice, and it goes along with what Amanda said about being well-rounded, is to apply for scholarships. That's the best way you can get experience, especially in the maintenance world. It's really hard to get experience coming in as a maintenance technician, and everybody wants experience. They don't want to give it, but they want you to have it when they go to hire you. And the best way you can do that is to apply for scholarships through Women in Aviation, through Association for Women in Aviation Maintenance, AWAM, through Women in Corporate Aviation, through the NBAA, the EAA, the AEA. There's so many organizations out there, and everybody provides scholarships. And unfortunately, everybody has the same problem of not having enough applicants. And I am living proof that scholarships get you to where I am today. I hold 19 scholarships, I think I'm up to now, in 4 different awards. So it really does pay off. And my other piece of advice, especially in the maintenance world, because it is tough to get your foot in the door, is to don't give up and don't get discouraged. And same thing goes with the scholarships. Keep applying. If you don't get it, keep applying. Don't give up and don't get discouraged.
I agree. I've been very fortunate myself to have been awarded about $57,000 worth of scholarships in my lifetime, and through many different organizations, including Women in Aviation, Women in Corporate Aviation, American Flyers, the 99s, NBAA scholarship. So there's a lot of opportunities out there, and rarely did I ever get it the first time. There was a few times I've gotten them the first time, and some I never got, but I kept trying. So yeah, that's a great thing to talk about, just keep trying. I do that the same thing with jobs. You know, I get turned down for a job, I just keep trying. Next time I see it comes open, maybe the next time might be your turn. So thank you very much, ladies. Okay. I'm going to jump back up to kind of one of our middle questions. Did you, we did have someone mention this. Did you have a mentor along the way? How did you establish that relationship with that mentor, and how did they assist you on your career path?
Well,
kind of a three-pointed question.
Okay, when I decided to be a trainer, I decided that I have to be trained by the best. So in my opinion, to be professional means to get professional training. So I did this. And I fall in love with my trainer. We became friends after that. And she is my mentor till now, because she seemed to me that she was doing this in such a professional manner. And she teach us to use our knowledge in a proper way. She put our skills above everything else. And I learned also that trainings are not about you. Trainings are about the people that you train, the people that are around you, and they trust in you, because they trust in you to guide them through their career path. So I really love what I'm doing right now. And I put all my passion of flying in these trainings, because my mentor, Diana, is still my friend, and she's very proud of what I'm doing today. But this is because of her.
Thank you.
I have had so many mentors in my career, I can't even count them. Most of them actually male mentors, not only external to organizations that I've been employed with, but internal to some of those organizations. I've had a couple female mentors. There is no doubt that seeking out a mentor in this industry, somebody that's been there, done that, can help kind of provide some direction, will help anybody that is looking for advice, because don't navigate this road alone. It's it can be kind of a slippery slope sometimes if you don't know. But what I will say is, as part of your networking and as part of meeting individuals in the industry, when you seek out a mentor, you know, you're going to come across people that are just willing to give their advice, that just want to share with you that, you know, information, or they're willing to, you know, offer up a airplane ride, or they're willing to take you with them or whatnot. And you take advantage of every single opportunity that comes your way, even if you're asked to volunteer in an organization to do something, it's going to build your skill set. And I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for some of that. So I think that, you know, seeking that out and finding those individuals will help you along the way.
Thank you.
My biggest mentor in business aviation and corporate aviation in particular happens to be Amanda. And how I established the relationship, or I should say she established the relationship, was my very first job as aircraft mechanic down at Moline at Elliott Aviation. She worked next door at John Deere, and one weekend out of nowhere, or I believe it was a Friday, out of nowhere, she asked me if I wanted to come to a 99s conference road trip in Iowa with her and one of her other friends who also happened to be a pilot. And I said, sure. I had no idea who she was or hadn't met her yet, but we hit it off, and you know, look where it got me later. You know, how many years down the road? 5 years down the road, she gives me a call one day, and I end up with a job.
Anna, I remember you distinctly getting in my vehicle, and I was like, I don't know this chick at all, but we're going to just hit it off, and we're going to drive halfway across the state of Iowa, and we're going to have the best time this weekend, and we're going to be best friends by the time we come back. And that's exactly it. And it's been so many years ago, I can barely remember it, but yeah, it's pretty awesome.
I myself, I've had quite a few mentors along my career, men and women. And the funny thing is Amanda's one of my mentors too, because she audited a company that I was at. And she asked me if I ever thought I wanted to be an auditor. And I said, yeah, I thought about it, but right now I'm a little bit busy. She gave me her card. And about a year later, I went scrambling around trying to find this card. And one thing led to another. And she helped to mentor me to become an IS-BAO auditor, and turned into a wonderful friend on top of it. And that's one of the things I can say about business aviation is men and women both. I've made some wonderful friendships, lifetime friendships with a lot of people in this industry, from mechanics to pilots to, I had a chief pilot who's now director of aviation. He was one of my best mentors I ever had, and still is my mentor. Being now that I'm a director of aviation, I reach out to him quite a bit because he's a director, and it's great to have those connections. So you can keep them for a lifetime. So yes, wonderful. Okay, ladies, I'd like to get to a couple of more questions here. Let's see here. What resources were available to you to support achieving or sustaining a career in business aviation? I know we mentioned scholarships. Is there anything else that someone can speak about?
Scholarships, yes, that's the most important and valuable resource. And with all these organizations that offers scholarships, use these chances to apply, become a membership in these organizations and apply, because this is the chance to fulfill your dreams with the help of the others. So you don't meet anybody by accident in life. Probably somewhere it's a purpose on meeting people. I'm a real example. I'm in business aviation due to women in business aviation. So for me, women in business aviation and women in corporate aviation is the second family. I have a family in there. I have a family in aviation, and I have a happy family at home. So use this, attend a lot of workshops, because now you can do this for free. Attend a lot of conferences if you can. Be in contact with everybody. Use the social media channels, like the business social media channels. LinkedIn is a very resourceful domain. prepare yourself for professional CV. If you don't have one, make one, because it's very necessary, and do a lot of networking, because this is very important, like we already said here. So
Thank you.
this is my advice. You're welcome.
There's a lot of resources out in our industry that can help an individual that's looking to get those resources. So, for example, the National Business Aviation Association, our NBAA, which is one of our largest aviation association, there is a member directory when you become a member. I think they have student memberships right now as well. You can also do individual memberships. But having access to attend conferences, get to know people, and meeting them face to face at these conferences provides for one of the most best places to be introduced to a potential mentor, to somebody that might hire you down the road. And there's also local member associations that are smaller. There's regional groups. So where I'm at here by Chicago, there's the Chicago Business Aviation Association, or the Minnesota Business Aviation Association, or the Wisconsin Business Aviation Association. And all those groups will provide for a regional network within your areas. So wherever you are, each area has a association, Georgia Business Aviation Association, North Texas Association, there's the Pacific Northwest out in Seattle. But what I would tell you is seeking out those resources, in addition to already the ones that were stated, will be critical to finding the people that are in your area that can help you. Also, there is the Female Aviators Working Together group on Facebook, and there's Women in Corporate Aviation on Facebook as a Facebook group, and connecting with those women on the social media platforms. So you can search Facebook in those various groups. LinkedIn has various networks on them. So trying to expand your network and getting a little bit closer to who's in your area, what departments are there, trying to meet them face to face when you can, when COVID starts to lift.
Thank you.
I just want to mention something, please. There are a lot of American organizations that they have branches in Europe. They are connected with branches in Europe. For example, Women in Corporate Aviation. Everybody says that this is an American organization. Yes, but you can apply for a membership. You can apply. You can join the organization from Europe, and you can apply for a scholarship, because this goes not only in the States, goes in Europe, goes in Africa, goes everywhere. So please take this chance, because it's worth it.
Anna?
Yeah, I'm going to tag off of them once again. One that has recently been a great resource for me is the MBAA YoPro. They're on Facebook, they're on LinkedIn, and they're also at the conference. They do a lot of their own sessions at the MBAA conference, which is great. I spoke on one of their panels. And mentors, mentors are a great resource. And networking events, not only at the NBAA and the Women in Aviation conferences, but also like when I go to flight safety training, every time they have a networking event, at least one night a week, and you get to meet, some of the pilots and flight attendants and everybody that's down there for training from different companies. And it's just a great way to be able to talk to them outside of class and establish some new relationships. And last, most of my resources that have gotten me to where I am today have came from being a part of different committees. I was on the board of directors for the Association for Women in Aviation Maintenance, AWAM, for over 12 years. I was their scholarship chair for 9 of those 12 years. And I've been on the NBAA maintenance committee now for almost 5 years, and they're just loaded with excellent resources for anything that you might need to advance your career, issues you might be having, questions. There's just a great abundance of people that with a huge boat of knowledge that can help you out by being a part of some of those committees.
Thank you, Anna. Well, ladies, there was a couple more questions, but we have 45 minutes and we're about out of time. I wanted to thank all of you all for being part of this panel. And if you have just something, if you have a little nugget that you can give someone as you would walk out the door, just like one little piece of advice nugget. Roxy, you had something that was really, you said, but if you could give someone a little nugget on the way out the door, why don't we go around the room, give that little nugget, and then we'll sign off.
I wish you to find what you really want. Explore your wishes. Don't be discouraged. Take small steps. Overcome obstacles. Dare more. Do not give up, and make your dreams come true.
Thank you.
If you have passion for aviation, you will succeed no matter what. It doesn't matter what somebody says. It doesn't matter what somebody does to you. You will find a way to make sure that you will be successful in the face of adversity and when things get tough. I'm not going to tell you that aviation is easy by any stretch of imagination, but it is the most rewarding career that I think anybody could ever imagine, by the people, by going to different locations, by forming friendships that last absolutely a lifetime. And I would not trade anything that I have been through in my career with that. I am here to stay. I love this career. And I look forward to so many more people that I get to meet along the way. And hopefully some of the people that are in the audience.
Because aviation is about people all the time.
Anna, your last nugget and we'll sign off.
My advice would be, if you can dream it, you can do it. You put enough hard work into it and you can accomplish anything.
Okay, wonderful, ladies. Thank you very much. And I appreciate you being here, and everyone have a great time at the virtual Women in Aviation conference. And we're glad that you're here, and we're glad that you watched our panel. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.